Hello, everybody, and welcome. And today I'm talking to Julia, and she's going to be sharing with us what has been her biggest challenge, how she's overcome that, and how that impacts on what she does today. Welcome.
So we got to know in South Africa while I was traveling, and I was traveling around the world, and I had some years off. It was first one sabbatical to find myself, to explore the world. And then I came back and I became a teacher again. And I felt something is not so well. It didn't feel like, it felt like I always say like a pullover that doesn't fit anymore. So because I have seen so much while I was traveling, but I didn't realize that the soul apparently was calling and saying, hey, you didn't do for a long time what really your calling is, even if I didn't know what my calling was. But at this moment I just knew that the thing, that being a teacher is still something what I really like, to teach people, to guide people, but perhaps not in the German school system anymore. But I didn't have an alternative at that time. And it was crazy how, this was my biggest challenge, I would say. I felt for the first time, if you don't listen to your soul, that the body cries so much that you can't listen, or you cannot listen anymore. Yeah. So and I had a lot of pain in my whole body, because I also had a virus from my journey around the world, what was really something like dengue fever that causes a lot of pain, but it was really unrealistic that it doesn't get better. And at that time, to be honest, I fell into a big, deep depression. And I always thought it's my body, or it's a disease. No? So, and I came to that point that I was so disappointed that I can't really do sports anymore, because I'm a very active person. I love to juggle, I love to beach volleyball. I'm a PE teacher, so I couldn't do that anymore because it was just pain. And but it was not typical that this pain after 9 months didn't go away. And then when I fell into this depression, I learned a lot about pain. And there I realized, or for the first time, how emotions and the body works together. And I never had this learning before, because my mom is also a doctor. She, as a normal doctor, and normally when you have pain or you have a disease, you get a pill and it gets better. But at this point in my life, it didn't get better, and I didn't understand why. Because I had, at this time, I had a good life, I had a good teacher job, I earned enough money, I had many interesting people in my life, so I didn't know why it came. But today I would say it's something, because I always like to be an artist, to be a photographer, to be a journalist, to be different things in my life, and I never allowed it to myself. I just thought, okay, I had studied, I needed a secure job, and that's my life then. But then I was in this life for 10 years and it didn't fit anymore. And so that was the time I realized that juggling, I learned this in this depression time, that juggling is really a thing what I really like and makes me happy, and is also a symbol for what I do in life, to juggle with my with everything what I do, what I've learned, to inspire people, to be an artist, to be a TV presenter, to be a teacher as well. I like to be a teacher, but perhaps not full time. So and I learned all this, and that's where we met, when I came back to my special place, my magical place in South Africa, to the Circus School of Zip Zap, where they inspire kids for life through circus, no matter which background they have, which religion they have, which story they have in life. If they have money or not, they can play. They can play with life in the circus. And this was for me always a symbol of a very colorful, exciting, and a life that thrives in a way. No?
So would you say that you have to reach a point of complete rock bottom, whatever that is. For some people, it's maybe living on the street. For some people, it's maybe an addiction. You know, everyone's got something different. But would you say that you have to actually get to that lowest point in order to pick yourself up again? Do you think you would have had that realization had you not got into that complete spiral and physically and mentally like become so sick? Would you have had the strength or the insight?
The thing is, what moves you? And I learned after that, I did a coaching training by myself because I wanted to learn about emotions and everything. And what moves you is love or fun or pain. And fun and love are very strong feelings, but you don't really realize sometimes that you have to change it. You think it's a gift, it's something you have in this moment, but it's sometimes not strong enough or not visible enough or evident enough that you do a step in a new direction, what you apparently need. I don't know. Yeah, I would say if I hadn't had this disease, I would have been perhaps a teacher for a longer time, full time, and always had this underlying feeling something is missing, but I didn't really know what it is. So there was, I think, because of this breakdown, I realized what my passion is, and also what I did with you at that time, really to curve what my talents and values are. I didn't know that. I just didn't know what I don't want anymore, but I didn't know what I wanted. So I didn't know what a vision is, what a mission is at that time. And when we worked together at that time, it was like there was this feeling of flow again when you made me think of, yeah, what, even if I didn't know how it looked like. This was also a big learning in this last 5 years, because I always wanted to see how it works. I wanted to have a solution. And I had to realize in my coaching training at that time that the how doesn't bring you to that aim, because if you want to know the how, you block yourself because you just see one way and you don't see the possibilities around it. And that was my biggest learning. And the coaches always said, but you are so much in your head. And I didn't understand what it meant. Then you are so much in your head. I thought I'm thinking, I'm getting experiences, and that's what I get from my experiences. How do you want to tell me I'm too much in my head where I should be when I'm not in my head? That's on my head, on my body. Yeah. Mm. But then in this coaching, what I learned, it was called inspirational coach. So I was so attracted by this word because we both realized that inspiration is my biggest value in my life. That makes me cry, that makes me flow, that makes me fly. Yeah. And then I see, oh, there is an inspirational coaching training. What is that? But in fact, it was a training, but there is no incident in life, I guess. But it took me to that coaching session. There are so many so many different coaching methods. So I don't know how it came to this one, but this is really based on emotions. And in this method I learned, they give room for emotions they don't want to feel. And I would say I met for the first time in my life my fear, my how do you call this when you are fainting? What is the word? Ohnmacht?
Lightheaded?
What?
Low blood pressure, lightheaded?
Yeah, but if you have a blackout, like that you lose control completely.
Unconscious.
Yeah. Yeah. And also this pain I had at that time, somebody of the therapists asked me, you don't like to lose control, right? And I said, yeah, but I never lost control in my life. So not like this, because the pain was so big and you had the feeling you can't do anything. You don't know what to do because the pills didn't work. And at that time, I was already like trapped when he said, oh, you don't like, yeah, for sure I don't like it. And in this coaching training, I learned how you feel when you lose control. And this you don't feel, but you don't want to feel. But if there's a coach who guides you through this big black hole, it's amazing what a kind of new energy comes into your life. Like when you turn anger into new energy, or when you turn losing control, or this let go, because you have such a fear what comes when you lose control.
So
But
if there was one thing that, so just before I end off, if there was one thing that you really wanted, like piece of advice or a quote or something that you really wanted to share with other people to help empower them, what would that be? Or to inspire them, what would that be?
yeah, it's really take responsibility for your life, because you are the most important person in your life, and you can just change whatever you want, and you can create your life. I was at that time not able to take a responsibility, that, or to see it, that I can take the responsibility and to really create my life. But you have to be open to fail sometimes, or to fall down and stay and stand up again. But it's a much deeper experience of life, even if it's not always a good feeling, that I can tell you. But you get closer to your inner personality, what you didn't perhaps really feel before. Also, I didn't really knew who I was before, and I'm still on my way, that I have to say as well.
Thank you very much for sharing your story with us.